Don't let them trick you into getting your ass whooped again.
We have a special guest here today. We'll be bringing him in.
I'm here to support my my boxer who's going to fight.
No Floyd Mayweather. Why not Floyd Mayweather? Why isn't he in the top 10?
Floyd Mayweather, he's running the whole 12 rounds and he won the fight. How is that? I mean, you know, I feel sorry to the fans because the fight is boring. You know, the fight is boring. Like,
He's older than me.
Oh, okay.
I'm still young, so what I have done and accomplished in boxing, I think it's one of a kind because to get a different weight division is not that easy. And I'm not trying to boast what I have accomplished in life, but I'm just saying this to repeat. You might forget that the best fighter in the world has a humility.
I'm not here to talk about your personal life. When we talk about, you know, what's going on inside that square circle.
It's been over a decade since the so-called fight of the century between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, but the tension between them hasn't disappeared. In fact, it quietly exploded again when Mayweather unexpectedly interrupted a live event just to shove Pacquiao before storming off. At first, it looked like a joke, until he never returned.
Sitting, John, right across the court from each other, Mayweather right next to the heat bench, Pacquiao, personal friend of Eric Spoelstra, right across from the bench, Spo noting that they had a chance to visit before the game. Well, that's a visit right there. Those are two men that allegedly have exchanged some information.
While Pacquiao was busy receiving handshakes and praise from boxing legends, Mayweather's behavior stood out, cold and deliberate. Word quickly spread that something Pacquiao said in a recent interview might have triggered Floyd. Fans didn't hold back either. One commented, "Mayweather's done more damage to boxing than good. He's all about money, not legacy."
Describe your career. How would you describe your career?
my career, I don't want to raise my own chair.
Manny, who are the top 5 fighters you ever fought, you think?
Another viewer chimed in, calling Floyd random and irresponsible outside the ring. The real spark, however, came from Pacquiao's interview. When asked to name the toughest fighters he ever faced, he paused, then listed Marco Antonio Barrera, Eric Morales, Juan Manuel Marquez, Oscar De La Hoya, and Miguel Cotto, but not Floyd.
Barrera, Morales, Marquez, De La Hoya, Cotto, what else? Margarito.
Why no Floyd Mayweather?
That snub was loud. Mayweather, who beat Pacquiao in their 2015 mega fight, didn't make the list. Why? Pacquiao didn't hold back. He ran for 12 rounds. It was boring. I felt bad for the fans. That's not the fight they paid to see.
Boring, like, that's not the fans expecting to us. I mean, as a fighter, if I'm a fan, of course I want to see a good fight, like changing fight, not a fashion show.
Is that rematch still
Right? We need action, like.
Pacquiao also revealed he entered the ring that night with a torn rotator cuff, his right shoulder seriously injured. He'd asked Nevada officials for a pain-killing shot just before the fight, but was denied because the injury hadn't been disclosed earlier enough. "It's part of the game," Pacquiao said, "but it's hard to fight one-handed."
There's no problem. So go back before the Mayweather fight. Just take us back through what happened to your shoulder. Was it about 3 weeks before when you tore your rotator cuff?
My shoulder has been bothering me since 2009, and then I just
Freddie Roach, Pacquiao's legendary trainer, admitted they debated postponing the bout. Bob Arum, his promoter, added that Manny's injury was similar to the one that ended Kobe Bryant's season. He even saw the same doctor. Despite the pain, they pushed forward, but things went downhill by round 3.
And then I just handle it every training. But it just happened on that Mayweather training. We push harder than any training that we had in the past. So that's what happened. I got hurt but we actually managed that after maybe 2 weeks. 2 weeks before the fight, and then 3 weeks before the fight is.
Nevada's commission chair, Francisco Aguilar, explained the denial. "We didn't know until 6:30 p.m. on fight night. The medication was listed, but not the injury. Their process had been violated. No shot, no exceptions."
3 weeks before the fight, the pain is gone, so I able to raise my hands and move.
Did they say it was torn at that point?
The doctor said that there's a torn a little bit, but
Pacquiao's camp insisted the paperwork was filed days before. Arum claimed the commission knew Pacquiao was hurt, but Aguilar disputed that. The post-fight drama only escalated from there, Pacquiao now facing lawsuits from fans who felt cheated. A $5 million class action suit was filed, arguing he should have disclosed the injury.
Strength.
But if you decide to get operated after the fight, then it's okay. But it can be healed
With time.
with time.
Yes.
If you don't even need operation, but when I realized, the doctor said that, but in every training that
Even so, Arum defended his decision. "Athletes always fight hurt. We thought he could manage. But once the shoulder flared up, the right hand was gone." Mayweather too revealed he had injuries in both arms and hands that night. Still, he stood firm. "I always find a way to win."
but in every training that you have, it will come back from pain.
So against Floyd in the ring that night, did you feel handicapped where you couldn't throw with that,
It's,
that hand?
I feel like disappointed in myself, because when I'm throwing punches in the 4th round, because he's leaning.
Roach later admitted, "It was a close fight. Manny just couldn't throw the right hook. If there's a rematch, we'd want it with a healthy shoulder. That's still a big if."
4th round, because he's leaning on the rope and attacking him, starting my pressure to him. But I feel like when I throw my hands, I feel like I cut my hands. I feel like I don't have my right hand.
Got it.
So
So
I
you're
feel
basically fighting with one arm, one hand,
yes.
right?
Meanwhile, the fallout continued. Despite Mayweather's dominant record, 50-0, he's still polarizing. One old rivalry reveals why. When asked who he hated the most in boxing, Floyd didn't hesitate. Oscar De La Hoya. Their 2007 clash broke records and was supposed to get a rematch, but it never happened.
Match in history.
With one arm, one hand,
Yes,
right?
so, and then I feel no pain because of your adrenaline is high. So, but I feel like I don't have a arm in my. I feel like it's cut.
Cut off.
Yeah, cut off.
I got it.
In
So
my right.
despite that, did you feel like you still won the fight on points?
And then came a twist. Mayweather's own father, Floyd Sr., who once trained De La Hoya, claimed Oscar actually won that fight. "If you go by who landed more punches, it's Oscar. My son had great defense, but it's still about touching the other guy. I scored it for Oscar."
Oscar was the one guy that would do everything that I tell him to do. He wasn't no.
That kind of honesty, choosing a rival over your son, was shocking. But it shows how complex their relationship was, and still is. Mayweather Sr. even admitted he would have been in De La Hoya's corner if it weren't for money disputes.
He wasn't no mouthy guy or anything like that. We never had that kind of problem. And then
keep looking at it.
Always,
That's why I asked you where you're from. And stuff.
always,
You know.
you know, every now and then I would go out there and jog with him and stuff like that. You know, stuff like that. But other than that,
In the end, fans got what they got. A win for Mayweather, a shoulder injury for Pacquiao, and a legacy fight that didn't quite live up to the hype. But maybe that's what boxing really is. Complicated, painful, political, and personal.
What do you think about Oscar? What do you remember?
but Oscar was the one guy that was. Oscar was the one guy that.
It was like a.
So whether you side with Money Mayweather or Pac-Man Pacquiao, one thing's for sure. This saga isn't over. And with whispers of a possible rematch still in the air, the boxing world remains on edge.
To do. He wasn't no mouthy guy. You know, he would do what I tell him to do. He wasn't no mouthy guy or anything like that. We never had that kind of problem.
For more raw boxing drama, legacy fights, and untold stories, subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. Until next time, keep your guard up.